You said in the book, the best response to failure is hard work. And I guess that's your way of saying just get out there and compete as a response to, not complaining. It's wild. I just had a conversation with Colonel Douglas McGregor, who spent some time in Iraq. And he just said to me, he was talking about war crimes and he paused and he said, all war is a war crime. And it was wild for me to see a seasoned military guy come to the same observation that you just made. He also said at the end, when I was asking about the election, he said, people need to save themselves. They need to stop trying to get one of these people to save them, and they need to go out there and save themselves. And just sounds like a lot what you're saying. Just a couple final things, Anthony. How did you become such a great speaker? People see you on your podcast or on CNBC or even here. I mean, you really, I think, have mastered the art of communication. And I think it's becoming a lost art in this day and age. And I was wondering how you did it. Was it intentional? Do you think it's one of the most important things for young men and women to learn? And then how would you say that they go about achieving that?
I had an advantage in life. I grew up in a family of 5 boys. And so frankly, we just talk shit to each other every single day, all day long for our entire life. And so if you want to convince 4 other people to do something every day, all day long, you got to get pretty good at communicating. You got to be pretty persuasive. And so, unfortunately, people can't replicate that mostly. It was just kind of a result of the environment and just practice and kind of constant repetition. But with that said, I also think that, however good I was at communicating, maybe when I was 18, 19 years old and, went off to college, et cetera, I got much better at it over time because I have the podcast. I constantly communicate online and I test ideas and I try to understand, how do I communicate this idea as concisely as possible? How do I communicate it in a way that is memorable or is shareable, right? Those things really are kind of practice and iteration. And so I think that anyone is able to do this. If you are kind of too intentional, it comes off as very inauthentic. But a lot of what we talked today, the reason why I have such kind of high conviction on it, because I thought about these things for a long time. I've written about them. I've talked to them. I've gotten feedback, all that kind of stuff. And so I think that communication really is a byproduct of just how much work have you put in. And it's really just, if you want to be good at communicating, how many people a day do you talk to? Right? Like it's really simple. If you sit behind your computer all day and you're like, I want to get better at communicating. Well, maybe the best thing you can do is just walk outside and start talking to people. Right? That might be the first step. But I do think that there's probably people who look at the way I communicate and they're like, hey, you know what? Actually, he could be way more polished. I probably say too much or, curse too much or whatever. And so it's always, how do you get better? And you look for, right? Especially as you start to have any degree of success, you look for the people who say, hey, you're doing an okay job, but let me tell you how you could get better, rather than people who just walk around and they're like, you're amazing at this. And so I think that that's another piece of it is, as I've learned how to communicate over time, a lot of it was trial and error, but every once in a while, somebody will say something to me. And I hope that I'm intellectually humble enough to say, you know what, you're right. That I did do that wrong. How do you think I should do it in the future? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to try to implement that next time, I'm doing an interview or I'm interviewing somebody or whatever. And so it's just constantly trying to find where is room for improvement and then go follow that.
That's great advice. Anthony, how can people get a copy of the book? And then how also can they learn more about you, professional capital management, follow you on socials? What's the best way?
The book, How to Live an Extraordinary Life, available everywhere, probably Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever. For me, if people want to, just learn more, I think about what I write on a day-to-day basis for financial markets, they can just go to PompLetter, POMPletter.com. And then Twitter is probably the best social media, just @Pompliano is the Twitter handle. So I really appreciate you doing this and been a fan of the show for a very long time. So pretty cool to be talking to you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Are you having more kids?
I'll let you know. My wife and I are discussing now, and depending on the day, whatever our kids are doing, as you probably know, some days we're like, we should have 1 million. Other days we're like, oh my God, this is like a zoo around here.
Yeah, you got to write some more letters if you have some more kids. It's awesome. The book is called How to Live an Extraordinary Life. Pick that up in bookstores, Amazon, etc. Follow this man on X, PompLetter.com for your newsletter, which I think 250,000 people plus get, which is amazing. I just want to say thanks, Pomp. You're just a huge voice, a really needed voice, a really unique voice out there because, you're in your 30s, but you also can speak the language of both worlds. The Degens listen to you and Tapieros and Scaramucci's and Yuskos listen to you as well. and all the folks in mainstream financial as well. And I don't know, you're very unique. And when we were getting into blockchain heavy in 21, I was watching your shows all the time and your live broadcasts, and it really helped me a lot. So thanks so much for what you do. Next time, let's do this in person in London or in New York. And just wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.